And here we are again. XRP whales are on the move. What's going on with this? Many of you know the XRP ledger is a fantastic, liquid, constantly developing thing, but it seems to get more hate than anything else in this space, which I have a theory that haters are holders, and I think that this suppression just can't last any longer. I think a lot of the folks that are large in positions with XRP and have been for many, many years, I think are some of the loudest voices that you're going to hear out here on the negative side. And I think a lot of that is most folks who are educated in this space have an absolute understanding of where this is going. They know that not only will Ripple as a company continue to develop the ledger, but as we continue to move forward, you're seeing more and more outside development. With those developments, it just is going to be an avalanche of institutional investments here at some point soon. The talk of CBDC development all of the time. I just don't think that the FUD and the negative news can continue to hold this down anymore. But either way, here from News BTC, just says that the XRP whales are on the move amidst a new surge in the wider market. Goes down here to break on, what are they doing and how is this working? The ecosystem itself is home to various whales besides Ripple. And there again, that's some of the misconception that you're going to hear from people outside the space or who are in the space that are, on the maxi side of the world. Everyone says that the only big holders and the only drivers of the market are actually Ripple themselves. Never have I been a believer of that, and I think most of the community would be in agreement. But the ongoing sentiment for the cryptocurrency seems to be obviously bullish and very positive. Various on-chain data has shown large XRP transactions in the past few weeks to and from exchanges. I agree with some of the other YouTubers out there who are going to be the ones to tell you that, there's nothing wrong with money going to and from exchanges. I think the increase in transaction volume, even if it's going to exchanges where people get scared, they think something's going to sell. Look, movement is good, folks. Motion creates emotion. We used to say that all the time when I was in school. Same thing goes for the markets here. But it goes on to say there's a few large transactions, and the large transactions themselves have increased in the last 24 hours. If you take a look at the breakdown from Whale Alert, you're going to see, $13.5 million worth transferred from Binance to an unknown wallet. That's fantastic. Pull it off of these exchanges typically means it's not going on the open market, which is going to stop this price suppression. Here you'll see another 14, almost 15 million transferred from Binance to an unknown wallet. So right there in those two transactions alone, you're talking almost 50 million XRP pulled off of Binance. Don't worry, folks, Binance will be all right. The data from on-chain analytics platform Sentiment also supports this whale accumulation narrative. It says a metric that follows the balances of wallets holding between 100,000 and a million XRP has significantly increased over the last week. And the number of addresses in this cohort currently stands at almost 31,000, which is an increase of 122 from 30,600 at the beginning of July. So there again, your large holders are continuing to accumulate. Some folks are going to tell you they're banks or institutions. Other folks think, these are just long-term holders that have been in since, below a penny. That's for you guys to decide. If you take a look here, though, overall, I think we're popping down right a little, almost 61 cents. We've had a little bit of sell-off here in the last 2 hours or so. I think a lot of it flowed into Bitcoin there for a minute as Bitcoin starting to pop back up here as XRP went down. Again, believe what you want to believe. Part of what we do here and what my group does on Wednesdays is we typically do what we call Wednesday weekly market recap. We normally just kind of review the top 50 or 100 depending on what the week looks like. And what our group does when we do these discussions is we just do a quick little top down, take a look at where the market stands, take a look at your 24-hour chart as we roll into Wednesdays. That's kind of our market Wednesday wind down, if you will. But as you can see here, Bitcoin nearly 65,000, keeps kind of popping around that number. I think you're starting to see some sideways action, which is good. No immediate drop from this Mt. Gox issue. Ethereum sitting there pretty solid. I think everyone's kind of waiting for the springboard to happen with these ETFs. BNB been quiet here lately. As you can see, if you take a look, over the 7-day, they're up almost 10% to the USD, but the reality of it is over the course of the last 30 days, BNB's been bleeding a little bit. Solana, I think, is starting to see a little bit more of a push. You see here over the last 7-day, they're up 15%, and that's holding true to the 90-day as well. Obviously, if you're a long-term Solana holder, you're loving life right now in the 1 year. XRP, as we have discussed multiple times here in the last few days, sitting real solid on the 24-hour, on the 7-day, on the 30-day. You know, we obviously still have some steam to pick back up to catch up to the yearly totals here. But I think if we hit that 75-cent mark, like many of the trade experts out there are talking about, I think 75 cents is a good market or a good mark for us to see some actual explosion when it comes to the XRP side. Tron, the open network coin there, honestly, we don't talk about it very much. However, you know, due to some sideways and up and down movement here lately, but overall on the 1 year, you know, the open network coin still holding strong. I think, you know, with a total cap of like nearly 38 billion, one of your top performers, but awfully quiet. You don't hear a lot about the Tron coin. Cardano, one of my biggest regrets from years ago when I liquidated my bags there. But you know, I knew there were great things for this project. I didn't honestly foresee this type of action, but still holding strong. Not looking so great on the 90-day, but your recent activity here has been solid. I think Cardano is a project that has a multitude of avenues that it can move with. It's got a lot of support behind it. It's got a great group of developers. I think you're going to see some big things for Cardano here in the future. Dogecoin, my favorite thing to hate on. You know, quick funny story. Had a guy many years ago when I used to bartend tell me that anyone who would invest in Dogecoin was a fool, and I agreed with him at the time. But on the same hand, too, I've got to give it credit. You know, it started off as a joke. It stays a joke in many people's minds. But I think this has outperformed beyond words when you consider what it really was developed for. Some days I wonder if the whole Elon Musk thing is the only reason this has any legs. But on the same hand, too, whether that's true or not, still holding strong, staying in that top 15, top 10 position a lot of times, which, hey, go dog go. Tron, again, one of my kind of favorite projects to laugh about, but on the same hand, too, I have a ton of respect for. Justin Sun is brilliant. I think he's got a lot of things going on. Many years ago when I saw this, it stayed between that 2 and 3 cent mark a lot, and I just never saw it getting any legs. But as you can see, you know, it's still not quite anywhere near halfway to its all-time high. But I think you're going to see a lot more coming out of this project here in the near future. I think, you know, the heat is starting to boil the water, if you will, on this one. I think it's getting to a point where something's going to explode. Shiba Inu, I hate to be this guy, but whatever. People made their money, then they ran. It's not even a cute dog. Avalanche, honestly, another project I've been kind of keeping an eye on for an awful long time. I think there's a lot of development here. I think there's a lot going on with what comes and goes through Avalanche and AVAX. But again, until I see some real solid jump, it's going to take a while till it gets back near that all-time high. But hey, this bull market might push Avalanche up into the top 10. Polkadot, another one that's well off of its all-time high. I think it saw a spike, back in the day, but still remains an active project. I think there's a lot going on here, and I think with a low total supply, all things considered, I think you could see a big jump here. But hey, I don't have a lot to say. I honestly, follow the project, but I don't really know much about it. Chainlink, another one that I think has some opportunity to really kind of get back in the game here. Came out guns a-blazing a long time ago and then kind of cooled off. But, as you can see, still doing well on the year. Doing pretty good on the 7-day as well. Again, one of your lower total supplies. So I think this total cap, has some total improvement opportunities. But I personally would like to see a little bit more out of the camp from Chainlink. OKB, honestly, another one that I know very little about, but down on the year, rocking back and forth here on the 7-day and doing pretty well, but still in the red pretty hard. But, more than halfway towards its all-time high. I think there's still some opportunity for growth. Bitcoin Cash is what it is. As you can see, up on the year, down big time on the all-time high, which this is not exactly a true representation, I don't think, of what the high should have been at the time. But again, still a solid project. People who are in love their BCH, and those who aren't don't know much else about it other than the fact that it's a fork. Back in 2016, 17, whatever it was, came out guns a-blazing. People made their money and ran, and then I think ever since the project has kind of just stayed stable. But hey, if you've got something else to tell me about Bitcoin Cash that I don't know about, please leave it in the comments. Near Protocol, doing well, up on the year, still has some room to grow on the all-time high, but again, fairly low supply, not a lot to grow yet in the sense where they're not going to be dumping a ton of coins on the market anytime soon. Has a lot going on behind it. There's a lot involved in the project. If you can get your hands in to Near and believe what it is, good for you. I know very minimal about the project, but I will say that every time I seem to be talking about XRP, they're not far behind. Polygon, again, another one that I think has a ton of room for growth. I think they need to get back on the train here. You used to hear a ton about Polygon at the very beginning, and now even on the X and kind of some of the social media areas, it's kind of fizzled out. I think if they keep their name at the front of the line, if you will, if they keep the project moving forward, I think there's some opportunities here. Litecoin, I think, is, believe it or not, I think of all the BTC, BCH type stuff, I think Litecoin actually has a great opportunity to really move forward. They use this as a test network for Bitcoin, and I think because of that, it has a chance to really gain some traction. If you've ever traded or tried to move Bitcoin versus Litecoin, you know that Litecoin is dramatically faster, and I think that is going to put its teeth in the wood, if you will. I think this has a real opportunity to be a growth a growth space. A lot of room to go to the all-time high. Still down on the year. It's going to take a lot to get out of Bitcoin's shadow, though. This guy, little peepee guy. Again, I think these meme coins are going to be a thing of the past sooner or later. I never give financial advice, but I would ultimately caution big time on stuff like this. I don't really know what to say other than it's not even a good image of a frog. Arbitum, again, I couldn't tell you much about this project. I know I hear about it. It pops up every once in a while, but for the most part, it's been kind of some sideways action. I really should do a little bit more research here. I see it in the top, 25 quite often, but I'm not quite sure, what the real utility is there. Internet Computer Protocol also gaining steam this week. I don't really know what's going on with my chart here. We're kind of losing some of this activity, but either way, you've seen a big jump this week. 24 hours looking good. There's a lot of development behind Internet Protocol or Internet Computer Protocol, ICP. I think this is one to keep your eyes on. Caspa, another one gaining a ton of speed. A lot of people talking about it. I think there's some opportunity for growth in the future, near its all-time high. But I think you're going to see big things coming out of this project here. Uniswap, if you've been around long enough, you know what a titan that can be. Ethereum Classic, and again, one of those guys kind of hiding in the background in the corner at the pool table, if you will. But always a solid project. If you're a miner, I know a lot of miners love Ethereum Classic. Stellar, again, one of those projects that kind of moves in tandem a lot of times with XRP. But I think, when you look at back-end development, people talking about Stellar might be a minimal amount of mouthpieces out there, but on the same hand, too, the institutional investment, the backing, the groups of, financial institutions that take a look at XLM all the time, I think this is an opportunity for gain here. Stacks, good news lately. They're back in the game. I think they were getting some negative press, but this whole SEC thing now might put them in a good spot. Hedera, again, if you look at the Hedera Council, if you look at the people that are backing this project, I think an unlimited cap is a potential here for HBAR. But again, they need a little bit more development, I think, on the front line to get themselves back to where they need to be. VeChain came roaring out of the gates here the last couple of weeks. I think they're in a fantastic position. They get a lot of laggard credit because of them being involved, from China. But the reality of it is if you want to look at institutional investment, there's a ton here. If you want to look at real world utility, they have been in the game for a very long time, working with, names like Walmart and all types of supply chain opportunities here. I think VeChain is definitely something that if it can get out of the Chinese shadow, will really have some positive marketing here real soon. You're going to see a lot in the news about VeChain. And we'll just kind of round up the top 50 here. Whatever. This dog with hat type deal. Again, same sentiment here. Goes up and down fast. I think there's a few large holders that move the number, but at the end of the day, you're going to see this stuff in the barrel. And we'll kind of wrap it up here with the graph. Again, something that I'll be quite honest with you, I don't know a ton about. I know that there's a lot of room to move back up to the all-time high, but a lot of these things spike fast. If you look on the all-time here, like most of these meme-style coins and kind of quiet projects, they spike fast, and it's just been a downward trend ever since. You're talking almost 3-4 years here of just sideways action. But hey, prove me wrong. Throw something in the comments there and let me know how you feel. To wrap this video up, as we've kind of really drug this on way too long, I just wanted to really give you guys an idea of, when the group over here talks about what we're doing for the week, for the month, for the year, this is kind of how we have our conversations. This was an abbreviated version. We go a little bit more in depth in each project. I like to get words from folks who know a little bit more about some of these that I don't know about. I've been around since 2014 in this market. I come from a financial institution background. I used to be a bank manager. So I speak more on the utility and side and real world application side. But some of our folks here in the group know a little bit more about some of the meme coins, about some of the the quieter projects. So again, I know this channel's just getting its kind of legs and just getting up and rolling here, but please give us some feedback, give us a little bit of comment action in the comments. If you know something about one of these projects that I know nothing about, please give me some information to bring to the world. We just simply want to bring news to the world. We want everyone to know what the opportunities are in markets like this. We've all done our research. We expect that you'll do the same. This is not financial advice. This is just us bringing you some news, some background. This is just for entertainment purposes, but this is what our group does. We have weekly discussions on Wednesdays. Before we get into our in-depth conversation today, I wanted to kind of break this down for you and just give you a little bit of an idea how we handle things. But again, not financial advice. Do not ever invest anything you can't afford to lose. And again, any feedback, any comments, we'll take it. Please leave it in the comment section below. But if there is nothing else, I don't think so. Nope. Bitcoin back up over 65,000 and holding strong. XRP bouncing back up a little bit here. We'll see what happens with that. Again, I try to touch some of these smaller projects. Flare, which we didn't discuss, they're not in the top 50, but I think there's a lot of buzz going on here as well. They seem to be holding strong, kind of a slow upward trend. Algorand, real quick, looking just like it popped back up over 16 again. And Hedera today is a mainnet upgrade, and they seem to be holding strong. So until we talk again, thank you. We're here to bring you the news.